What a week in court. Jonathan Lemire, author of The Big Lie, now out in paperback. So Monday, we're looking ahead to Michael Cohen. And I know you've followed a lot of this, given not just the book, but the work you do here for us in Politico. What can we expect out of Michael Cohen's testimony? And also, I wonder if the defense will go after him credibility-wise, just as they did Stormy Daniels.
Mika, that's a safe bet. Michael Cohen is the blockbuster witness of this trial. Stormy Daniels, we had it debated here by our legal experts, certainly brought some sizzle, but perhaps her testimony in some ways unnecessary. Some of the drier stuff by the accountants and some of the other Trump aides far more important. But Cohen is the through line. He's at the nexus of this scheme, of this criminal enterprise. So his testimony is going to be hugely important and perhaps, unlike Stormy Daniels', necessary. But he has significant credibility issues. We all know that. He lied to Congress. He went to prison. He is someone who the defense will certainly argue has a real axe to grind against Donald Trump. Let's remember, Cohen was Trump's loyal right-hand man, his fixer. Count me as one of hundreds of reporters who used to get threatening phone calls from Michael Cohen all the time. Whenever you wrote something negative about Donald Trump, Cohen, of course, has since denounced Trump and takes no opportunity to miss attacking him. So Mara, let's look at this. I mean, being in New York City, Michael Cohen's a figure. Everyone sort of knows him. They all have their own Michael Cohen story. He's really key here. He could either make the prosecution case or he could undermine it. What do you expect?
Well, this is where I think the magic of courtroom trials and prosecutors, defense lawyers is really going to come to life. What the jury sees here is either going to be someone who is not credible, as you said, who has an axe to grind with the former president, or it's going to be someone who was closer to Trump than almost anyone, closer to the in close proximity to these alleged crimes. He saw it all. And so I think, that is kind of where the skill set of these prosecutors and lawyers is going to come to life. I do expect that it's going to be dramatic. Also, I mean, we're going to see the two men face off in court. That's going to be a little awkward as well. So I think this is a question of what each juror is going to see. And, it's kind of uncontrollable after a certain point. I mean, this is why, we can't predict what's going to happen because this jury is going to get two different stories. The one thing is that Michael Cohen, since denouncing Trump, has been fairly consistent. And so, I think that the former president does, also has a lot of credibility issues. So let's not forget that. It's not exactly, the most credible defendant.
Yeah. So it's interesting. In the next hour, we're going to have Vaughn Hilliard, Ankush Kaduri, and Charles Coleman joining us as, of course, the testimony continues. But we want to now turn to the political impact of this. And so let's bring in former Ohio governor and 2016 presidential candidate John Kasich. He's an NBC News and MSNBC political analyst. Chief Creative Content Officer at the Daily Beast, Joanna Coles, is with us. So great to see you, Joanna, and have you back on the show. And
thank you.
Congratulations for your new role. This is amazing.
Thank you very much.
And also with us is co-host of MSNBC's The Weekend, Simone Sanders Townsend, also co-host of Morning Mika, which I brought back on the rails this week. Simone, I think I got you a little worried with the live chickens last week, but it's all about
Mika,
Jen's book.
The chickens were... People need to watch the chicken episode. That's all I need to say. Y'all need to watch it.
Yeah, it was about dead dogs and live chickens. But this week, all about Jen Psaki's amazing new book, Say More. So let's dive in. John Kasich, it's great to have you back on the show and see you again. I'm curious what your thoughts are watching Trump's trial play out. Some people on the Democratic side say it'd be better to have him out there saying crazy things at his rallies. I disagree. Where do you come down on this?
Well, I don't think this trial's having much impact, Mika. I don't think people are paying that much attention to it. I thought it was very interesting to read Peggy Noonan today and what she said about how the race is coming down to, things are pretty well set. It all gets down to economics, and I just don't think this is gonna have that much of an impact at all. I think what it's going to get down to is how do people feel about their situation today, how do they feel about the future. And so it's always the pocketbook. And so I don't think this trial is going to take away from that thundering effort to try to decide how people feel about the economy. And the Biden people are going to have to start making a case that things were not so great under Trump, and here's what's happening with them. And I mean, they got a big challenge going forward, and they just can't count on Trump's, mistakes to be able to win this election.
Right. It's amazing. You're so right about that, how desensitized people are to all the stuff that either Donald Trump has done or is accused of doing or admits to doing. I mean, Joanna, this would be blockbuster TV any other time in politics. But it's like people are like, oh, stormy, schmormy, whatever. They're not really, I'm watching. I'm kind of riveted. What do you think down the road this will mean for the election as opposed to just the drama of it?
Well, actually, I would say that we have seen a spike in our readership at the Beast over the trial, actually. So I agree with John Kasich that people sort of got anaesthetised to the drama around Trump. But this is a little bit like the sort of 9th season of his reality show. And I was thinking, for those of us old enough to remember Dallas, that Michael Cohen is a little bit like Digger Barnes coming back as this sort of character that pops up every now and then and causes great drama. So I actually think, there are seasons of TV shows, even 9th, 10th, 11th, that suddenly perk viewers up again, and I think this might be one of those seasons.